the fabled menagerie of Azad, the Sultan's pride and joy. It had been one of the wonders of the world. As a child, I dreamed of it and longed to see it with my own eyes. Now it was a place of terror, an abandoned ruin laid waste by the sands of time.
Hey, my name's Drafferys, and this is Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. The first game in what would become a massive dynasty, which currently rules over Ubisoft. Ever since Prince of Persia became Assassin's Creed, this game gets looked over, and I'm not going to take that lying down. Before I get to the game, I need to talk about what version I'll be playing, which is a first for me. I have a lot of choices. I usually just emulate games from my childhood, but I officially own this game for PC. Look, I have the shortcut icon and everything. I still physically own this game, though I'm not sure where this copy came from. I owned the GameCube version, and I know I don't have that anymore because it was destroyed in that pawn shop fire. Funny story, I traded all my GameCube games into a pawn shop, and a decade later I dropped in and saw that most of them were still there. Not random copies, those were my copies from my childhood. I started saving money to get them all back because they got crazy expensive over the years. Then poof! The freaking pawn shop burned down. Yeah, everything was in there. My Star Fox Adventure, my Mario Sunshine, my Zelda HD collection, my Pokemon Coliseum, even my Tales of Symphonia. Let me go! Let me go! He's still in there! No! So this PS2 version? I can basically play any version I want, and full disclosure, I was gonna play the PC version, but whew.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
I decided to just emulate the GameCube version. The opening imagery perfectly sets up the world without having to say a word. Just seeing this style of saber really screams deserts and curtains. The opening brings us to the protagonist, John, Prince of Persia, waking up in a war zone. His dad is sacking this Indian city, and he plans to earn Daddy's love through glory on the battlefield. But plans change. After getting a taste of war, the Persian formerly known as Prince decides it ain't for him. Now he plans to infiltrate the palace and steal some treasure to impress the old man. This tutorial level is clear and functional, no complaints, everything is tutorialized perfectly, so I'm not going to be confused on mechanics even as they evolve throughout the game. Great foot to start off on. But it's during this exact moment that the nostalgia hit for the first time, and everything became clear to me. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time cursed all future games of this type by being too good. This game does things that would partially define the 7th generation. It's an action platformer, but its style of these genres is ahead of its time. Let me explain. First, the action is not too deep, focusing more on being satisfying by allowing you to face multiple enemies without feeling overwhelmed. You can block an attack to trigger a counter hit, or dodge into an enemy to run up their miserable peasant body and slash their low-born face on the way down. Oh my god! This game is the common ancestor of the Arkham series, Shadow of Mordor, and Insomniac's Spider-Man. Your ability to react to incoming attacks and constantly switch targets is identical to these future combat systems. The combat is built to satisfy your need to style on all your enemies. Then it's the platforming that really sent ripples through the industry. The slowdown on the wall run tells you everything. They knew that incorporating parkour into platforming was awesome. This again leads to Batman Shadow of Mordor, but also Infamous, Mirror's Edge, and Dying Light, as platformers taking inspiration from parkour or freerunning became pretty common after this. Sands of Time is the earliest example of this parkour-inspired movement. A notable comparison is Beyond Good and Evil, which is obviously closer to other platformers. This shows the difference really well. Both of these games were made by Ubisoft. Sands of Time by Ubisoft Montreal, Beyond Good and Evil by Ubisoft Pictures. And the crazy thing? They were released on the same day, November 11th, 2003. Just look at the difference though. Sands of Time has far smoother, more realistic animations, and better general movements compared to other platformers. It feels so good every time you get to do anything. They definitely took inspiration from the original 1989 Prince of Persia, which was rotoscoped to have very realistic animation for its time. It's kind of crazy playing this after so many years, because it's built like a PS3 game, but it handles like a PS2 game.
She's out of control! You win again, Gravity!
It doesn't take long to find treasure in this place, but the prince is weirdly surprised to see the most common thing in the Middle East.
Sand.
As the box suggests, this sand allows us to rewind time. This gives you leeway during tricky platforming or combat sections. The platforming has lots of mechanics which will compound to make some good challenges, and having such a quick redo keeps everything snug. The game can now push you without annoying you. This is so sick, we go to show off the dagger, but turns out it was a trap. This vizier who betrayed India also betrays us. The sands are released, and everything begins aging rapidly. The building starts collapsing, and all living things are aged into zombies. The Princess of India, whom we captured, tells us how the dagger works to finish off the sand monsters. You have to knock them down with your sword, and finish them with the dagger. I like how they only made one animation for sheathing your weapons. Like the prince came into this going, "Oh, I'm getting a dagger for sure." The princess is named Farah and seems to know a lot more than we do. Also, she's alive, so let's find her.
Come back! Daddy isn't done speaking! You will come back here!
Another thing I never noticed as a kid is that they always have a shadow or some moss when you need to jump to a pole mid-wall run. This is such a perfect tell. This really is the perfect AAA game. AAA didn't always mean best graphics and biggest file size. It really just meant highest quality, least janky. AAA games aren't made by big jumps in technology or design. It's the hundreds of little details that eliminate frustration and streamline the experience. Like here I screw up a jump and backflip off the wall, but the prince grabs the platform. The prince doesn't exactly like running off cliffs, so he'll usually grab a ledge to save his life, which really suits the realistic behavior of everything. They want the game to flow. They don't want anything bringing it to an awkward, screeching halt. Wait, is this the moon puzzle? Oh, I hate the moon puzzle! This thing had me stumped forever. It's a lot like the Resident Evil 4 square puzzle, where the actual solution is quick and easy if you just look at it.
Careful! Think ahead!
Oh, so that's what he meant. We meet back up with Farah, who is fending off the first boss, Daddy. This fight introduces enemies who punish you for trying to vault over them. Good addition. After killing Daddy, the prince gets all possessive with the dagger, as the nice lady continues to insist we stop doing cool sand stuff. The amount of context-sensitive actions is insane. You have different animations for finishing enemies based on your distance, being a stab, a cartwheel stab, or a lunging stab. You can actually climb around ladders in this game. It's the little details like this that add up to this game feeling better than any game before, or most since. Farah now joins as an NPC follower for most of the game, and she's fine. She has her own health bar and friendly fire is turned on for both of us, but she never became a nuisance I wish wasn't there. Which is good because I start to like her very quickly. You can really tell she's a good person, not just an ally. She acts genuinely human. She'll gasp or yell at you for taking fall damage because she doesn't like seeing you get hurt, and she's excited when you accomplish things. The party's feeling nice as we enter the menagerie, which only has birds. Yeah, that's an aviary? It's still cool because now we get bird enemies.
Look, crap!
Farah, this really isn't the time. We head into some tunnel where the prince thinks to himself how much he's warming up to Farah, and it's nice because the character is agreeing with me. He's literally me. Now we're in the bathhouses. Farah really likes shooting me all of a sudden. Thank God this gamer girl bathwater's here. The next segment gave me a bit of trouble until the solution came to me in a dream. Every save point gives you visions of the future, which can really help if you're stuck. At least twice I had to go re-watch the vision to figure something out. After some combat and puzzles, I get a block into the bathhouse. Turns out I had to do all that because the prince is canonically 5'6", and he had too much pride to ask Farah for a boost.
Right, wife. Life good. Wife fight back. Kill wife.
We get a heavier saber which allows us to break certain walls, but doesn't seem to deal more damage. You fight the same enemies for the majority of the game, so it doesn't really matter.
Look, crap!
Farah, no. You need to stop. We enter the ruins of an older civilization, and the blue enemies you can't vault over start appearing normally. This is the point the combat falls apart. The blue enemies can't be jumped over, so you have to block and counter, but in large numbers, that really doesn't cut it. That vault is crucial for crowd control because it's your only defense against being surrounded. They'll also wombo combo you after a knockdown, but I discovered you can block while on the ground. Of course, this isn't a perfect solution. Farah, take the shot! Next is a mess hall. We immediately get these even tougher enemies you can't vault over. Individually, all the enemies are fine, but in larger numbers, certain enemies are miserable every time you see them. The Middle East is very hot, so we decide to go sleeveless. And we split up with Farah. We have to find our way back to the bathhouse through these caves, where the game introduces collapsing platforms to add some urgency. These are really smart because you know right away you gotta haul ass, but they give you more time than you'd think. They collapse instantly when you run past them or jump off of them to make it look like a narrow escape, but there is little risk of you actually dying from it. After a successful rendezvous, we save the game and find ourselves in Farah's arms. Every time we save, it knocks us out for a few minutes, and from now on, Farah will often be cradling us during this as she calls us her love. To make it clear, the main story of this game is actually the love story between these two. We see the final boss a total of 4 times and only know his goals because they're so generic. The meat of this game is the prince and Farah falling in love but not being able to take it to the next step because of some trust issues. You know, the prince did help conquer her home, and she initially tries to take the dagger for herself. I think it works very well, similar to romance in an action movie. Regardless of the situation, you're both hot and sweaty, and the brain's gonna ask, what am I doing alone with this hot, sweaty person? Oh. At this point, I have the combat all figured out. In addition to rewinding time with these sand tanks, you have a separate charge that can slow down time or freeze the enemy in time to easily be killed. So I can deal with groups of blue enemies by freezing them as long as I have these charges. Unfortunately, the combats are getting really long. There's like 5 or 6 waves of the same enemies in this learning hall.
There's a crack. I'll go.
Farah, we don't have time for a crack break. The library is... Huh. This room is one giant puzzle where you need to go back and forth on different levels to direct the light. It's really good. This leads to a planetarium. I might be wrong, but I think this part has some softlock potential since there's no way to heal and you take fall damage on this part. So if the last battle left you at 1 HP, your save file's toast, but let me know if I'm wrong.
Look, crack.
Wait, let's see where this corner goes. Alright, you can take the crack.
Prince, you're just enabling her. We see visions of the prince, now shirtless, good motivation to keep going, and he gets killed by an enemy, maybe implying a difficult combat encounter? A platform collapses under our feet, but the prince can't reverse time in cutscenes, so we fall into the prison and immediately join the skins for basketball. The prison is easily escaped with one of the most beautiful sections of the whole game. The platforming flows so well here, it is magical. Please play up to this point. We meet up with Farah right outside the building we've been working towards this entire time, and now we have an elevator level. Yeah, this part stinks. It's not the combat that was foreshadowed, but it is miserable. It's really deflating to kill an enemy and immediately see another spawn in its place, no delay. My only hope of survival is the Mega Freeze. If all of your sand tanks and little pips are full, you can activate a super where all the enemies freeze and you teleport to kill each one. Insanely cool, if a bit expensive. Finally, in the treasure room, victory is within reach. And we royally fudge it up. We've gotten multiple visions of Farah betraying us, so the prince doubts her words long enough for us to get blown all the way into some ancient crypt. Sure wish we could rewind time in cutscenes. The prince and Farah confide in each other until we enter this trippy fountain room. I interpret this as the prince being lost in time, like he's wandering through different possible timelines until he finds his. Which makes sense, because he's kind of losing the thread on whether to trust the Farah in front of him or the Farah he sees in his visions. The game is rated T for teens, so we get to swim with a naked but very 18-year-old Farah. Turns out she was a grifter, so we wake up with nothing, knowing she's taken the dagger to set things right on her own. I really like this light puzzle because it tricked me into thinking I need to light all the crystals, but spots on the ground hint that something else is going on. This gives us a sword that instantly kills all enemies. Farah gets the car, and we get the jackpot, baby! Without the dagger, one mistake and it's back to the checkpoint. They aren't exactly babying you. This is the platforming final boss, and it definitely shows why the dagger is an amazing platforming tool. Without it, this sucks. You can lose a lot of time from one missed jump, but I'm pretty good, so I don't make many mistakes. When we catch up, Farah is being overwhelmed by enemies. We run, but get to her a second late and can only grab on by the dagger. This is a brief and tragic scene. These two have been going from doubt to love the whole game. They obviously want each other, it's just hard to bridge that gap in this situation. But the player knows. In the prince's eyes, he isn't holding on to the dagger. Farah realizes this. She leaves the dagger and the fate of the world to her love. Oh, Farah, why? Why didn't I try harder to get you off the drugs? The main antagonist makes his third appearance and says the same thing he's been saying the entire game. Give me the dagger. The prince overcome with whoa, I've never seen him move like that. To set things right, we do one big rewind before the events of the game to undo our mistake and then head out to prevent the war entirely. The intro to the game is actually the lead up to the final boss, and you wouldn't realize it until you're here. We find Farah, who has no memory of us, and explain everything. The Vizier enters as the final boss, which is famously a big letdown. It's really hard to do bosses with this control scheme. I mean, there's 2 of them in the entire game for a reason. Regardless, we don't have much connection to this guy, so killing him swiftly is perfectly acceptable. The day is saved, and the prince does as a hero should. Ah, but he messed it up. See, he had to do that to the previous Farah, which is the future Farah. You know, it's really confusing. Let's just bail. Hey, you can rewind time in cutscenes. The prince makes a much cooler exit, with subtle hints that maybe more's to come for him and Farah. You've probably picked up on the fact that I enjoy this game. I also enjoy its descendants. The sequel, Warrior Within, could get a video someday.
I have no time for this.
The early Assassin's Creed games are a favorite. I can't beat this dead horse enough. This game is so good, so influential. It's a cornerstone of this console generation, which the next generation built on. The main designer for this game was Jordan Mechner. Wait a minute. That's the guy who made the original Prince of Persia. Oh, no wonder this game worked out so well. Mechner's a freaking visionary. He pioneered realistic animation in video games. These are a beauty to watch in motion. While it certainly is a 6th generation game, this one weathers the passage of time particularly well. Didn't even break out the rose-tinted glasses. It just felt like I was playing a game. Hard to believe this came out over 20 years ago. The combat improved the most in later iterations, such as the beloved Arkham series, and Assassin's Creed basically carried the good animations and climbing forward with minimal changes. Elements of this game are everywhere, like sand scattered by the wind. But it sure was nice. Catch it all back in one hourglass, just to flip it over and watch it go. One more time. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed, a like and subscription mean a lot. And if you didn't like it, well, why the hell not? You better comment and tell me. Anyways, take care.